Hi beautiful people, welcome to Kate Space. Welcome to my channel. I want to continue with this big journal that I'm making. I think in the last video we sort of sorted out the spine. The thing that I forgot to do, if anyone was wondering, was I was going to actually stitch the original spine onto here, and I forgot to do it, and then I thought I'll do it afterwards, but actually no, I'm not going to. It's going to just be too hard. So I've made this, so the spine's quite rounded. I think that's going to be right. The other thing is I kind of wish I'd made the spine a little bit wider, but I haven't. So the other thing I've done off camera is made a template for my signatures. So I've got 7 and I've got some fabric here. I just wanted something sort of neutral in the back. I didn't want anything sort of pretty. I don't think this is going to be a super pretty journal. I want it to be somewhat practical for someone who's a gardener and wants to do some planning or some journaling or recording around their garden, be that a vegetable garden, a flower garden, some landscaping. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. But anyway, I did sort some signatures and papers because I thought doing that on video was going to be difficult. So I've taken out some of the book pages that I wanted to include. Obviously this front piece, which is one of the first pages. And like I told you before, this paper is really nice and heavy. I found this really beautiful music pianola roll cover, and I was looking for like a sort of a grungy one. It's got this old pin in here and holding this piece on. It's got a little bit of old string. I don't know if that will stay on these little stampy things. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to go there. What else have I found in my travels? I found this 1933 memorandum of mortgage, which I sort of liked. Well, I did like a lot. I went through and got some grid paper. This one here is actually David's for when he's doing his planning and stuff with the land and that. And I've tea dyed it quite lightly because it was quite stark white and quite a contrast to everything else. I've got the sketch paper. I can't remember which way's up. I've got the sketch paper, which is a lovely feeling paper. So if someone wanted to maybe sketch, it's not watercolor paper, but you could probably watercolor on it. I don't know. Then I've got this old vintage lined paper, which I've actually joined here. And this paper here I've left white. This is actually watercolor paper. No, it's not. It's a mixed media paper, so you could watercolor or paint or anything. So I've left that white. This is some of the lovely paper that I got in a Happy Mail for Joe. Not sure if that video will be up before this one, maybe, but I've pretty much used all of that, Joe, so thanks for that. It was great. And then this is also from Joe, this beautiful old ledger, which is I think a New Zealand ledger, and from the 30s, maybe the 20s, I'm not sure. So that's that signature. And what else have we got? We've got some eco dyed. We've just got some of this kind of old newsprinty paper. Some more from the book, which I've joined onto this page. So this is one of the color plates. And then this. So what shall we do next? I think we need to reinforce, and so that's what I'm going to do next. How is everybody? I hope you're all well. I'm well. I'm somewhat frustrated because of my printer situation, which you'll all be totally sick of hearing about, but you know, I have to vent to somebody. I vented to my sister. just so frustrated. I know there's so many other things I could do that don't involve a printer around creating journals and art and journaling and stuff. But you know, when you've got your heart set on maybe printing some things out and you can't do it, and I'm just, yeah. I think the most frustrating thing is the lack of response from Epson. And so this morning I went for my walk and I got back and I thought, no, this is not good enough. It's taken me a long time, but actually Epson have not responded. They haven't responded to the technicians in Auckland, so I kind of thought something needs to be done. So I rang. I'll probably mend this. I've got this old tape here. It's that paper packing tape that you wet. So I'm using that because I'm kind of want it is going to be sort of a grungy sort of looking thing. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, and I'm not sure whether I need, maybe I'll just use some masking tape there. The good thing about masking tape is it's quite, I'm going to have to turn this round so you don't get my head. What's behind it kind of shows through, so I quite like that for reinforcing pages where I want to, you can still see how you can still see the lines through it. I know it's a lighter colour, but yes, so I rang the technician and I just said, look, this just really isn't good enough. He said, well, I've emailed them and they haven't responded. I phoned them and they haven't responded. So I said, well, who can I ring? And he wouldn't give me the Australia number where head office is. So I said, okay, well, who can I ring? And he said, well, you can ring the 0800 number. And he gave me the job numbers and stuff. I mean, I feel a bit sorry for him because it's not his fault, but just the frustration level is high. Very high. I think I want to cover that up. It's kind of nasty. I'll just use masking tape. So I rang the 0800 number, and of course they didn't know anything about it or what was going on, and I just sort of had a bit of a rant to them as well. She said, oh well, I'm going to look into it and I'm going to get back to you and ring you back. And I'm like, okay. So we'll see. I haven't heard back from her yet. And I've got this washi tape which has got sort of planty type stuff going on, so I'm going to use this. So that was no good, and so then I went on their website and you can email them, but of course that just goes to customer support as well. So I sent an email to customer support and I got the generic email that bounces back. Well, you know, we've got your email and someone will be in touch from customer support, and I'm like, okay. And then I got, and I was included in my address in an email to Epson saying, this person has been waiting a very long time, it's urgent, when are you going to respond? And there was Epson Australia's head office email address, so I sent my own email to them. And I also put something on Facebook, not that that will really make any difference. What are we going to do here? I've got this tear in this paper, and actually there's a little bit of a hole here. I'm wondering whether this page might not be in good enough condition to use. I might have to take that out, I think. So yeah, I sent my own email to them, and so we will, I don't know if anyone will ever even look at it. But I've just had another email back, so this has all happened today, that was sent back to the technician in Auckland saying, sincere apologies, I will look into this and get back to you. So who knows, but I will be ringing back again. That's all I can do, is keep ringing back, right? And just be like just an annoying person. So So yeah, I'm being a very annoying person. And I'm very frustrated. But, you know, David always has sensible advice. He goes, just do something that doesn't involve printing. Make some covers. Do something. And I thought, oh, well, this journal obviously isn't going to have many digitals in it. So I'll just do this. Now, this paper, this is a newspaper from 1876. And it's in surprisingly good condition. Lynn gave me that, and I've been wanting to use it, and I just thought, oh, it's kind of got ads, and I don't know, gardening and newspapers, I don't know, there just seems to be a correlation for me between gardening and newspapers. So I thought a newspaper, an old newspaper page would be cool. And I love this book page. Look at how beautiful the line drawings are in this. So I had to include this. It's just gorgeous. So I've put this one in. Yeah, so that's my printer saga. Thanks for listening. Oh boy. Everybody seems to have printer sagas. I was talking to some ladies this morning on Instagram, and we were talking about printers, and I mean, Epsom printers are, the eco tanks are great as far as cost effective with the ink, but they do have their own problems. Wondering, do I want to put some of this brown tape here? I don't really want to cover that date. I think it's okay. This is where the stitching was before, and I may reinforce that. I'll just leave it for now. We can go back. And my main problem was with the printing and also the scanning, is it scans with a magenta hue. So if you print something out that's quite sepia and you don't have your color management situation sorted out, it will print out very pink rather than yellow. So the yellows, and I feel like I've kind of fixed it, but the scanning I haven't managed to fix. I still have issues with the scanning. Okay, I'm going to try and fix this page with some tape. This is out of an old herbal book, obviously. And I thought it was cool. Yes, so you do need to know how to turn off print management so that your computer and your printer aren't competing with each other to manage the colors. And then also you have to go in and select what paper you're using and make sure that the printer knows what paper you're using and all sorts of things. So anyway, I've slowly learned that by trial and error and searching it on YouTube and Googling and getting the printer, is it the ICC, is it, what do they call them? The printer ICCs? Drivers, the printer paper drivers, or printer, I don't know what technically it's called, but it is important, and I didn't know any of that. And there's nowhere really to go to learn a lot of that stuff. Someone was in the market for a printer the other day and we were talking, and I was just saying, wouldn't it be great if you could go somewhere and take your digitals or your things that you think are going to print out the most and sort of try them out? How cool would that be? All right, so we're nearly there with the reinforcing. So some people, I know I've got Canons and love their Canons. Some people have HP with the ink. Is it subscription ink or whatever? I don't know if we have that in New Zealand. New Zealand, and some people have Epsom eco tanks, and the one I have is one of the top most recent good models. It prints borderless, it prints A3. It is a very good printer. I mean, the next one up is super expensive and is for printing out like really flash art, and it has, I think it has, it doesn't have the dye based inks, it has, you know, better inks, and I didn't think I need to go that fancy, not for junk journaling. So yeah, it's getting to know how the printer works and all those technical things, and it's just a slow process. And when you're an older lady, when you're an old lady like me, it just seems to take longer to learn these things. But I'm getting there, and you know, by the time I have finished learning, I'll be able to sort of have a sense of, I don't know, success, that I kind of did it on my own without too much help. At the moment, I'm doing the course on the graphics series, the Photoshop, Introduction to Photoshop Elements with Emily, and I'm learning heaps, and I think it's going to be a really good step forward as far as working on Photoshop and resizing images, changing images, and hopefully in future maybe scanning some of my lovely things to share with you guys. So yeah, there we go. All right, so that's a good start, reinforcing those things. So there's not much decorative pages in here. And the other thing is I wanted to put some old envelopes and things in. These have all been in the book, the page press. But again, they've puffed up again because I had to do some tea dyeing. Yeah, so we're getting there with that. And then the other thing I thought, you know, if you're making a big journal, sometimes it's a good idea to make use of some of your really big images. And I wondered about using some of these really big rose images. Like I said, it wasn't going to be a super pretty book, but who can resist? Who can resist? So there's that one, and on the other side it's plain. So I might pop that one in. Maybe just a couple of nice looking pretty pictures. I'll just cut the threads on here. There we go. So I want one that's got the least amount of writing sort of on the other side, and then it becomes a page you can write on as well. All of these have got lots of writing. The 100-leaved rose. Such beautiful pictures, aren't they? Portland rose. That's quite similar to that one. What about the Rose of May? What's the Rose of May? Let's use that one. To cut too much of that one off to use both those, so I'm going to tear this down. Okay, just a couple, and then I will trim it to fit. I don't know, I need to find my template maybe, or I might just use this. cut some off both sides and off the bottom, obviously off the bottom. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so this will be a page that we extend. This one, let's see, a lot of these pages I've made quite small. I think I've made them a bit too small because I've measured from the back of the spine to here. No, I've measured from here to here. Oh, can you see? I've measured from here to here. And so when they sit back in the spine, yeah, I'm sure I've made them a bit short, maybe. So I don't want to do that, make that mistake with these. I kind of want it to... I might just fold it here. So I don't know where it's going to go, but so I'm going to have to make another page go on the back. Yeah, so that's okay. So that's that one, and I think I might put a bit of a tea wash over it. I'm just going to fold it there. So I think I might put a tea wash over them so they're not so white, even though they're not super stark, but. And then I will come back in the same video and we'll do some more. Okay. Good morning. It's the next day. Well, no, it's actually a few days later. The weekend's been. I've been faffing around with this little this big girl for a while, but I know I promised that I'd do some of it on camera, so it's just really hard to know how much faffing people really want to see. So I've been mucking around with these signatures. They've been in and out of the book press. I think I'm satisfied with this one. I've got one page here that I need to extend. I actually thought the signatures were all a bit plain, so I've put a few sort of book page type things in, and I'm thinking of attaching this here. I don't know. And I had some old sellotape floating around that I wanted to fix this with. Where did I put that? Oh, bother. I don't know where it went. So frustrating when that happens. But anyway, I'm just gonna, this is old sellotape, but I'm just gonna make it look a bit darker with some alcohol ink. I'm gonna be a mucky pup and use my finger because I don't really care about getting mucky too much. It's all part of it. Yep, so that'll just make the sellotape look even older. I don't know where those other two pieces that I had set aside have gone. Right, so let's just flick these over and see if we can make this work. We'll just grab the art glitter glue. And add some glue to the sellotape. How much do I want? That much probably. Just want to glue the sellotape there. Yeah, so much faffing has been done. I've had that whole classic thing where you've got something in your head and you're trying to reconcile that with what you're making and trying to make it into what's in your head, and not being sure, not being completely sure. Anyway, I've just decided to go plow on ahead and see what happens. And I'm going to glue this to that. So yes, I've gone through and I was extending pages, and I thought, oh, I should turn my camera on and do this with you guys. And then my next decision, and I'm struggling with this one as well. Really, my process is one big struggle. Not really, sometimes. But I'm wondering whether I sew these signatures in and then just go about decorating it, because I don't want to be tempted to change them around again. I want to, once they're sewn in, then you're sort of committed to working with how they are in the journal, and I kind of like that idea. I think I'll put some tape or something down there. Okay, so that's that one there. And that's just going to have to fold like that. I'm okay with that. This page here is taller than the others. It's still within the bounds of the book, but it's kind of annoying me. But when I sew it in, I'll just have to make sure I keep that in mind, that everything's kind of balanced around it. Okay, so that's that one. And then, so what I did is I got my Flampton Flora book out, and I've been just, I don't know, I've had it for ages and I haven't really used it, so I decided I'll use it. And the great thing is that the pages are about the right height, and I only really needed to take a little bit off this edge, which was perfect, because it's always nice to use those bigger pages. Just wondering if that should be the middle signature. So that's the other thing now, what order should they be in? I definitely want that to be my first. So there's those two. I guess it doesn't matter too much. I've just got that big sort of grid paper in the middle of here. Sort of like a planning page, but should I just keep it as I had it, because do I want that to be my last page? Yeah, so I mean, I go through these so many times, it's insane, really. But I'm just wondering whether I'll go on and sew them in now, because then that's done, and I guess I'll just have the awkwardness of trying to do any texture paste or anything like that once they're sewn in. See, these overhang. I'm not sure whether they overhang. I'm not sure if my template was quite right, the one I made. Does anything stick out? Nothing's, oh yeah, that one does. Why is that one sticking out? just at the top. It's just because it's not folded straight. Okay. Yes. So there we go. We have our 7 signatures. I haven't done, even though I kind of have in my mind it's a garden planning journal, I really haven't done the seasons or months or anything like that. It's going to be very open to interpretation, I think. And I think that's the best way, because otherwise I guess it's too prescriptive for someone. But there's heaps of writing and planning space and drawing, sketching kind of type things. I wanted it to have this kind of scruffy look. I didn't want it to be too pristine. I think it's good. I've used some lovely old papers, some new papers. I haven't really used any digitals because I don't have my printer. I've got this one here which I've joined up a page with. That's from Heather at Ruby and Pearl. So I think it's ready to, I guess, be decorated. I do get nervous about decorating it before I've sewn it in because I just don't get a real feel for it. And I feel like things start getting damaged. So that's the next decision to make, is whether I sew all these pages in and then go through and decorate them. The only thing, if I want to do stamping, it does make it very awkward, and I probably will do a bit of stamping. I had an envelope that I wanted to go here. And that's the other thing now, all my stuff is piled over here to my right. And I really do need to probably have a bit of a tidy up. I do love this photo. I'm wondering about putting it there. I don't really want to cover this up, but you know, you can't always see everything, but I do love that. I think that's going to go there. Maybe. I think that's going to go there, maybe. I got out a bit of my grungy old trims and things. No, I don't think that works there, does it? It's quite bulky. But I do like that there. I think I need to back this with something. We could do that. That would be something to do. It doesn't require too much thinking. Today I went up my hill that I go up, Tomato Peak, and I decided I was going to try and do my best time. Excuse me, I just get my glue stick. So the up is the thing, the first bit, so the first 3 Ks are pretty much going up the hill. And they're the hardest bits. And I did run some of that because I thought that's the bit I need to get faster, because otherwise I'm not gonna. So by the time I got to the top, I thought I was gonna actually have a heart attack. I think Jet was a bit worried about me because I was groaning and moaning. But anyway, we got to the top, and then it was like, oh, I still didn't really do that any faster than I normally do, which I was a bit gutted about. But that's okay. So I thought, well, that means I'm going to have to try and make up time on the way down. So I had to run the down. Now, some of these paths are extremely rocky and you can't run them. So apart from those bits, the really steep bits that if I fell I would be hospitalized, apart from those bits I ran all the way down, and I did it in my fastest time, so I was pretty happy. But now I just do feel a little bit fried. just a little bit fried, so probably making a video isn't the wisest thing, but I really want to get on with this journal, and I did say I was going to do it with you guys, so I don't know if I can rip this little bit off here. Just gently, there we go. So that's just, it's all curly, but that's just giving it a bit more strength, because that is a very old photo and you can see it's degrading. I don't know if you can see that part here, how it's all sort of degrading. I love it. You can still see that it's a picture of an old house and a garden, but oh, do I really want to cover that over, or should we just maybe put the photo here? We don't really want to cover that up either, do we? I guess we could put the photo here, but then it feels like it needs stuff behind it. I was thinking about putting something like this here. What does that look like? I feel like this needs like some lace or something else behind it. Maybe some old grungy sort of lace. So I really don't want it to be, I just don't want it to be super pretty. You could put something like that behind it. So I'm going to have to think about that, because I don't want to. I think I like the photo better, so yeah, I think I'll work on having the photo there. But yes, I feel like I want to put things behind it. I wasn't actually planning on doing any of this right now, so I might have to come back to it. Maybe just some cheesecloth or something, but I do like the lace, the old lace. But that's not enough just on its own, I don't think. But I could cut it and then make a decision. I'm going to rip it. Ooh. Yep. So we've got it there. And then we can always put some other things behind there. Because I do want it to look old. Someone's gardening scrapbook type thing. So yeah, okay, so that's something. Maybe I will put a pin in that. But the decision I really need to make is about whether we're going to sew these in or not. I don't think I want to do much sewing on these pages, maybe some hand sewing. So I'm just wondering whether I go ahead and put my holes in here and sew these babies in. I'm not really sure if anyone will want to see that. I think I have reinforced everything I need to reinforce. So now I need to go through and make all the holes. Okay, so those are all my holes. I need to decide where the top is. top. And I mean, I can't really see them on that side, so we'll just have to wing it. Big beautiful giant paper clips from my sister. I'm going to use this dark black wax linen thread. And I've got my needles. But I need to make a template for this, so that's the next thing. Is that the right? That's about the height of the pages. Yep. I'm going to fold it like that. And make this the top. Try and get them even, so find the middle of my template, just like that, and put that on the middle one there. Then I'm going to mark, that's better, the centre hole, that hole, and that hole, and I'm going to do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, but I'm going to tie my, I hope I can see these when I do this. I'm going to tie my strings at the back. Okie dokie, so should we go from the front or should we go from the back? The last signature first, and hope that it all works. Okay. I want to try and make everything fit nicely. So this goes like that. Is that being reinforced? Just check that I have reinforced. Yes. Then we've got that page, that page, that one can come down just ever so slightly to there, and this is the tall one. I don't know why it's taller than everything else, but anyway. Don't want to sew anything in upside down. Alright, so what is my middle page? Oh, the newspaper. I don't think that's what I wanted. Okay, I'm going to have to stop the video and sort this out. Okay, so this is the one that was in the middle. It was hiding in the journal. But I have made a big boo-boo with this receipt being too tall. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to tear it. Very carefully, I suppose, across the top here. See what happens. Oh, that was okay. And then again across the bottom. Just so that it's not poking out. Although some people don't mind their signatures poking out beyond the book, and that's good. I've never really tried that. Okay, I think that wow. Wow, okay. Then I'm going to just clip these with these huge paper clips, which are just awesome. I love them. They're so good for holding signatures when you're stitching them in. And I may wish that I had waited until I'd done all my texture paste stenciling and things. I think that I probably will at some point, but that's okay. It will just be awkward, not impossible to do once the book is sewn in together. but I feel like I just get a better feel of what's happening, and also I'm committed to it being like that, and so that just helps me get on with things. All right, so we've got our signature. It's all in order. It's all up round the right way, we hope. And I've got my little template, so I push that into the very middle of my thing. I know you guys have seen me do this before, and so that's actually slightly taller. I don't know why. So I'm just going to sort of make it even there and there. And then I get my sharp tool awl and I line it up and I push holes through. So you're going to have one there. One there. One there. So that's 3. 4. Some people just do 3 whole pamphlet stitch, which seems to be fine. I do 5 on a bigger book because I don't want it to fall apart, but 3 whole I think is fine. Oh look, we've even got some thread still here from last time. So let's just use that. So because I want to tie it on the outside, I'm going to start from the outside center and through. David was busy in the weekend replacing, oh, what am I doing? Okay, ignore that. We need the spine bit. Let's find the spine bit. Where's that? Here. Okay, so here's our top. Top, and this is the last signature, so it's going in. So we need to, it would be good if we actually sewed it to the spine, wouldn't it? Or sewed it to this and then we can glue it in. Right. Yeah, David, now I can talk again because I'm maybe on the right track. Spent the weekend putting a new vanity in our bathroom, and I think he regrets even starting that job. The houses that we moved into had been, I think it's one of those things people sort of did, they do it up for the sale, so it looked fine, but it was done really cheaply, and so everything started to really deteriorate, and we're just not ready to do any big huge renovations. We thought we were, but we're not, and just with everything that's happened, so the vanity in the bathroom was just looking beyond acceptable, really. And we don't really care too much, and we don't have many visitors. But we are having house sitters come and stay, and I just said, oh, you know, I don't expect the place to be perfect and flash or anything, and if they want it like that, then I guess they won't house sit for us. But there's some things that just, you know, that was one of the things. So anyway, he did it for me. We bought just, and again, we've bought a pretty cheap vanity from Bunnings. Gosh, this one doesn't want to go through. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. What's going on here? Does not want to go in. Obviously, there we go. Just had my angle wrong. Make sure that doesn't pull through. Yeah, so of course he got the vanity out and then nothing fitted, and then the pipe was just put in so poorly, and yeah, you know those jobs that you think are going to be simple but they turn out to be just a bit of a nightmare. Right, now I need to make sure I don't split this thread. get my needle through the thread. Then it won't pull tight. Have I done that? No, I think that's right. Right, so now, so we've gone up to the top. We skip the middle, don't we? And then we come through here. Second to bottom. Let's hope this one will go through nicely. Nope. Okay, you know, does anyone else have those days where you think maybe I should just do something that's less taxing? Wow, I don't know why I've got such an issue with this. It's such an easy binding. I don't know, my holes just aren't lining up. So yeah, in the end we had to get new tiles as well, so he's done that and he's been grouting them today, so hopefully they'll all be ready, and then he'll be able to do the silicone, and it will be all good. And it will look so much better, at least. It will look new and clean, and it won't have sort of bits of stuff peeling off it. And it's really not a flash bathroom at all, but there we go. Wow, I'm not quite sure why I'm having so much trouble there, but anyway, don't normally have quite that much trouble. Hopefully I've gone through all the right holes in the spine. Yes. Yep. Okay, we're nearly there. So this is the 5-hole. Don't worry, I'm only going to do one. You can all be excused. Oh dear. Okay, let's see if we can get this one to go through nicely without, hopefully we haven't gone through the string. Don't think so. No. Okay, and then back through the middle one. So I have gone through the string there. This is actually a bit more of a looser weave wax thread than I normally use, so actually it's a bit more prone to that. Okay, so then pull up our bits, tighten up our strings. Okay. Yes, so there you go. I have split the thread there. So let's see if that's fixable. Yep, I think I can pull it out. I can. So tricky. So even with a really blunt needle, sometimes you can split the thread. I don't do it so often with the other one. So I think it's just this is a much looser, thicker sort of looser weave thread maybe, and that'll be why it wasn't tightening. But I think we're all right now, maybe. Maybe not. Let's just pull. It seems to be all right. goodness me, this has been like that one's look. Yep, no, I'm not happy with this, so I am going to turn the camera off and start again. Good morning, it's the next day. Wow, this video has taken, I don't know, I haven't looked back, but quite a long time to put together. I've had a bit of a mare, but I have got my pages stitched to the spine piece. This wax linen thread, which I purchased at the Sen's crafting exhibition, is quite almost like a loose weave. I mean, it's great thread, and I just was wondering why I was having such trouble. And I remembered the last journal, the fairy journal I used it on, I didn't use the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I use a different stitch which doesn't involve going through the same hole. And so I didn't realize how easy it is to catch this thread. So anyway, it took me a long time to get these pages in. However, that was not, you know, that seemed like a happy ending. But then I was looking at my cover, which, as you know, I Mod Podge and spray sealed, and I saw these little lumps, and I thought, this is scraping off. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I've sanded it, but then I turned it to the back and look at this. Oh my gosh, I could have cried. So this is all kind of scraping off. I think when I look at it, I'm going to be able to scrape it all off. I have no idea why it's doing this. I've never had this problem before. Like, I've gone to the trouble of trying to make the book more robust and protected. And now I feel like I should have just left it well enough alone. So I'm going to scrape this all off and see what it looks like. I'm worried about the front because of the sort of the paint on here. Sometimes things just get real, don't they? And they just don't go according to plan. So that's where we're at with the gardener's assistant. I do have another one over there that has a made from scratch cover, which I'm not overly enamored with the cover at this stage, so I'm working on that. So yeah, I'm gonna go and try and remedy this problem and see where we end up. It does seem to be coming off quite easily, and so I think that's what I'm going to do, and then see what the surface of the book looks like, and then maybe just go in with the spray, protect this, and go in with the spray sealer but no Mod Podge. I'm scared now to do this to another book. I don't know if this book had something on it that reacted, or whether it's the weather, or look, I just really don't know, whether there wasn't enough drying time. I have no idea, and I'm absolutely gutted. But yesterday I just went, oh my gosh, I put it down and I went and dug all the weeds out of my raised veggie beds, because I'm hoping that we're going to move them. But where they're moving to, we need a digger, and we can't get hold of a digger at this stage. You know, they're all busy because of the weather events and stuff. So anyway, I felt better after I did that. So if you have stuck through this video, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. And yeah, if you've liked this video, or you've learned something or been a bit inspired, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, because apparently that helps other people find me. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today, and we'll be talking soon to let you know how this all went. Bye.